In the next 9 minutes, you're going to learn 3 ways to use visual progress to achieve any goal you set, and you'll do it faster than you ever thought possible. And the third method is so deeply wired into your brain's oldest reward system, you'll wonder how you ever tried to succeed without it. So find a quiet spot, grab a glass of water, and let's begin. Okay, let's start with the easiest win. It's a beautifully simple idea from a very unlikely source, the comedian Jerry Seinfeld. Years ago, a young comedian asked him for advice on how to become a better comic. Seinfeld's answer had nothing to do with telling jokes. He said the way to be a better comic was to create better jokes, and the way to create better jokes was to write every single day. He told the young man to get a big wall calendar, one that has a whole year on one page, and hang it on a prominent wall. Then, he told him to get a big red magic marker. For each day that you do your task of writing, you get to put a big, beautiful red X over that day. After a few days, you'll have a chain. Just keep at it, and the chain will grow longer every day. You'll like seeing that chain, especially when you get a few weeks under your belt. Your only job next is to not break the chain. That's it. Don't break the chain. It's not about having a great writing session. It's not about inspiration. It's just about drawing that red X. This works because it does 3 things perfectly. First, it makes progress tangible. Your effort isn't an abstract idea anymore. It's a physical, growing red line on your wall. Second, it builds momentum. Each X makes the next one easier. Third, and most powerfully, it leverages loss aversion. Psychologically, we hate losing something we've built more than we enjoy gaining something new. Breaking that chain feels like a loss. I saw this work with a friend of mine, David, who had been trying to learn Spanish for years. He'd use apps for a week, then quit. He'd buy books, read 2 chapters, then stop. Then he tried this. He bought a cheap $1 calendar and stuck it on his refrigerator. His goal was just 10 minutes of practice a day. That's it, 10 minutes. Then he got to draw the X. The first week, he missed a day. But the second week, he had a perfect chain of 7 red X. He told me that on a Thursday night, he was exhausted and about to go to sleep when he saw the empty box on the calendar. He said he felt a literal pang of anxiety at the thought of breaking that beautiful red line. He got out of bed, did his 10 minutes, and drew the X. 6 months later, he was having basic conversations with a language partner. The visual chain provided the discipline his willpower never could. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The chain method is great for building habits, but what about goals that aren't just a simple yes or no? What about losing weight, saving money, or writing a novel? For that, we need to level up. This is about creating quantified visual progress. Our brains are notoriously bad at perceiving slow, gradual change. You don't feel yourself getting healthier after one salad. You don't feel richer after saving $20. The day-to-day change is invisible, which makes it easy to get discouraged and quit. Visualizing the data makes that invisible progress tangible and emotionally resonant. Think about a weight loss chart. Every single day, the number on the scale might fluctuate. It's noisy. It's frustrating. But when you plot those daily numbers on a graph, you can see the trend line slowly, beautifully moving downwards. That graph is the truth. It cuts through the daily noise and shows you that your effort is working. There's powerful data to back this up. Kaiser Permanente's Center for Health Research conducted a massive study on weight loss, tracking over 1,600 participants. They found that the single greatest predictor of success was not the specific diet, not the exercise routine, but simply the act of keeping a food diary. The participants who consistently tracked what they ate 6 or 7 days a week lost, on average, double the amount of weight as those who tracked only once a week or less. Why? Because the journal made the abstract concept of calories a visible, concrete thing they interacted with every day. They could see their progress or lack thereof in black and white. It wasn't about shaming themselves. It was about giving their brain clear, unambiguous feedback. You can't improve what you don't measure, and you can't stay motivated by a process you can't see. Whether it's a simple spreadsheet, a budgeting app that shows your net worth as a rising mountain, or even just a thermometer coloring chart for a savings goal, seeing the numbers move is the fuel. If this is clicking for you, a quick subscribe helps me keep making these videos every single week. It's a small click for you, but it makes a huge difference. And the most powerful idea is right around the corner. Okay, remember how I said the third method taps into your brain's oldest systems? Here it is. This is where we go from tracking progress to engineering an environment of inevitability. Instead of looking at a chart on a wall, you make your entire environment the chart. You design your physical space so that progress is the default most visible outcome. This is about making your goals so physically present that you would have to exert effort to not make progress. This concept was perfected by the British cycling team. Between 1908 and 2003, they were a joke. They had won a single gold medal in over 100 years. Then they hired a man named Dave Brailsford. He introduced a philosophy called the aggregation of marginal gains. He believed if they could improve every tiny aspect of cycling by just 1%, those gains would add up to a remarkable victory. They improved the ergonomics of the bike seats. They tested different massage gels. They hired a surgeon to teach the athletes how to wash their hands properly to avoid getting sick. But here's the visual part nobody talks about. Brailsford's team painted the inside of the team's mechanic truck a brilliant surgical white. Think about that. A greasy, dirty workshop, painted pristine white. Why? So they could spot any speck of dust on the finely tuned bike components. Dust and grime create friction, and friction slows you down. On a normal floor, that dust is invisible. On a brilliant white floor, it's a glaring imperfection. It's an immediate call to action. They didn't just have a spreadsheet for bike cleanliness. They made cleanliness visible and unavoidable. They lived inside their progress chart. The results were staggering. In the 2008 Beijing Olympics, the British cycling team won 60% of the available gold medals. They repeated the dominance in the 2012 London Olympics. They didn't just get a little better, they became one of the most successful teams in modern sports history. They did it by changing their environment to make excellence the most visible, unavoidable option. You can apply this. If you want to drink more water, don't just track your ounces. Leave a full water bottle on your desk, in your car, by your bed. Make water the most visible choice. If you want to read more, don't just set a goal of 20 pages. Leave the book open on your pillow when you make your bed in the morning. When you come to bed at night, you have to physically move the book to go to sleep. You've made reading the path of least resistance. This shift from tracking a goal to living inside a system that makes the goal visible and inevitable is the entire game. It's the difference between trying to have willpower and designing a world where you don't need nearly as much of it. So there you have it, a simple red chain on a calendar to build unstoppable momentum. A quantified graph to make slow, invisible progress feel real and rewarding. And finally, an engineered environment that makes success the most natural, visible outcome. These aren't just tricks. They are ways of communicating with the deepest parts of your brain in a language it understands best, what it can see. If this helped you see your own goals in a new light, like this video and maybe share it with someone you know who's feeling stuck, be sure to subscribe because there's always a smarter way to move forward.